Welcome back to Kingsway's new home building today. Well, here we are in our beautifully furnished and finished Riverton model, and I thought you might enjoy a tour. So why don't we start on the outside? Now first, as you look at the outside, you can see there's a lot of definition. That is, there isn't one plain front flat surface as you would see, for example, on a salt box, but rather a lot of definition or different planes of the front. And look at those nice gables, giving that house a very big, warm, rich look, and this beautiful covered porch that is so inviting when your guests come over to stand at the front door. And of course, they're well protected if it's raining. Well, then you come in this wonderful foyer, which is a nice size and really spills out to all the different levels and areas of the home. But one of the things I want to point out is, again, this house is 2,500 feet on the main floor, but the sight lines can help make this house look so much bigger. In fact, maybe give it a feel like 3,000 feet. For one of them, from the foyer, is that you're looking into the dining room and you can look into the living room. So either room that you're in, you really can look the other way. Now, one of the secrets to doing that is, first of all, you want to keep the sight line so you have the feeling of bigness, and yet it is really nice to have each room defined as its own entity so that when you're in the dining room, you feel you're in the dining room and not the appendage of the living room, and when you're in the living room, not the appendage of the dining room. And I think we do that very well. In this particular house, between the dining room and the foyer, we have the floor differentiation. We also have a dropped soffit, and then between the foyer and the living room, you can see this really handsome archway and the built-out drywall to give a pillared effect, again, differentiating these rooms. Now, something else that's interesting, again, sight lines. The living room is a very lovely size. It's very large. But in addition to the largeness, not only do you have the feeling of the foyer, which opens to it, and the dining room, but look at this, an open wall to the stairway that leads to the lower level. So when you're in this room, you can see another 4 feet or so into this area, again, giving even a greater feeling of depth. Now, if we look over to the other wall, you can see the way we arrange the furniture. You could be watching your television set. There's a little wet bar, this beautiful fireplace. You can see the plant shelves and things to put plants and vases and what have you. Just look at the interest that you have in this room. And as you look toward the back of the room, look at all these windows to give you all this brightness, along with this wonderful patio door so that you can go out, in this case, to your deck or to your patio if you would not have an exposed lot. Now, let's walk through this area, and we're going to come into the dinette. Now, again, what we've done is we're using the hardwood floor, which runs really from the foyer, rear hall, into the kitchen and the dinette. You can see how nice that is. And just how Kingsway thinks ahead, look at how we've positioned the dinette. And there's a bay, and you'll see that the bay is not balanced perfectly on the kitchen, but rather is pushed over to the far side. And the reason for that is the fireplace is this magnificent see-through fireplace. So that keeps the table away from the fireplace, gives you a great walkthrough, and if you're sitting here, you're not going to feel so warm because these fireplaces do generate a lot of heat, which of course is what you want in those cool autumn days or cold winter days. Well, here we are. Now we're in the kitchen work area. Look how nice this is. You can be working at your sink, you can be looking out the windows, you can be looking over the table, you can have family or friends sitting here, visiting with you while you're doing things. Look how we do the cabinetry again to make it look like furniture. And again in this Riverton, take a look as we come over here to this area. Look how nicely we've done the corner cabinets, again staggered. Look at this recess in the wall. All these things are so rich looking and so handsome. And it's just a matter of your builder giving thought and designing them into a house. Well, now we come out into the rear hall, which is really not a hall, but it's like its own little foyer. And this foyer leads to the kitchen pantry. It leads to the utility room. Nice size utility room. We have the door that leads to the wonderful 3-car garage. We have a very large rear closet, and then this hallway leads to the master bedroom. And you come in and you have a 10-foot high ceiling. You can see how spacious this is. 3 windows, 2 flanking the bed, 1 on the corner. You can get that wonderful cross ventilation on days that you would like it. You come through here, it leads into the master bath. You can see how lovely that is. Has its own separate shower. separate tub. And then from that bath, you can lead into your own master bedroom closet, which is done with those wonderful California closet items in it that everybody seems to love so much. Well, now on the other side of the house, we have the two either children's or guest bedrooms, another bath, and of course it's leading off from the foyer, so that hardwood floor leads into that area. It's very well done. But why don't we go downstairs, and I'm going to show you the 1,400 feet that we finished off in the lower level. I think you're going to find that really interesting. Well, here I am approaching the lower level, and I just want to say at this point, right above me is a very large pot shelf. It is magnificent. When you are standing on the first floor and you look down the stairwell, you see that? It is just great looking. Another 2 steps gets us into the lower level, and here we are into what would really be almost like a family room. Lower level, this is where you'd put your big screen TV. It has a bar. You can see all the interest that's done down here. In addition to that, we even have a hockey table here. Really, really nice. Now, down here we have over 1,400 feet, and this is done for around $60,000. That is coming in at somewhere in the $50 a foot range, so somewhere around there. I mean, where can you build for that? That is just phenomenal to get space like this at that price, and hence why so many people are doing it. You know, we're going with higher basements instead of the old 7'6" or 8-foot basements. They're now 9 or 10 feet. In a area like this, we have an exposure, so we have these beautiful, wonderful windows. But even at that, we've built these homes in areas where we don't have an exposed lot, and we can do the big window wells, things of that nature. Now, if you follow along, you're going to come in here, and here we set this up with a game table. So if you're here to play cards with your friends, you can do it down here. A patio door leading out in this particular case, again, because we have this wonderful exposure. And you'll see there's another room even beyond, and that's where we would visualize having all our weight equipment, such as a treadmill and all that type of thing. Even if you don't use it, at least you're going to start feeling guilty that you should be using it, that it's there. Right here we have a little snack bar area where you could be having a soda or a cocktail as you or the host or hostess are making it, and your guests could be right here. On the far end, we have another area you go into, and that has the bath and another guest bedroom. It really is an outstanding amount of square footage at a very reasonable price. Again, why so many people are finishing off their lower levels. They don't feel like basements anymore. They really feel like the main floor of a home. Well, if you get a chance today, I hope you come out to see us here. We're in Carter's Crossing, right across from the Silver Spring Country Club. That's in Menominee Falls. It's easy to find. Now, after this commercial message, I'm going to be meeting with Julie and talking about some interesting things, so please stay with us.